I've often thought if I could have the courage to be a martyr, as Peter Tarrott did so many years ago in Rabaul under the Japanese. I think the time it would take us to come to be a martyr would be a longish time, in the sense that it would not be put on us immediately and quickly. There would be a situation develop in which we would have to think about and pray about our faith and how we wanted to live or how we wanted to die. You're with Mission Alive. This is Roger from MSC Mission Office, and I continue some discussion about Blessed Peter Tarrott from Papua New Guinea. As I said, the situation that brought him immediately to his death was a bit longer, from the time he became a catechist and did his work, and then the Japanese came and they settled down under the Japanese occupation, and then things began to get worse and stricter, and his work and activity was prohibited. So in that time he was obviously thinking about and praying about who he was, and what he wanted to do and what God wanted him to do, and came to the point of saying, I cannot agree with the Japanese. I will not agree with the Japanese. And that led to his death. When the Japanese prohibited his activity, he became a bit more prudent, a bit more quieter, or hid what he was doing. And near his house, he and some of his family dug a cave in the mountain, and there were three rooms to that. And in there he would conduct services for smaller groups. In that underground shelter near his village, he would bring people together for prayer, quietly in smaller groups, and the administration of the sacraments, witnessing to marriages and the baptisms that he could do, distributing communion. And he also told the people, if there's somebody died and there was a burial, then no prayers were to be said at the grave, but he would go to the house on the evening before the burial and say prayers. So he found ways of going around the Japanese law, what the Japanese wanted. And as I said previously, at this time the Japanese effort in the war was being defeated. And then in 1944 in June, the Japanese legalized again the practice of polygamy. This had been a practice previously. The missionaries had indicated to people to stop doing this, and they had. So the Japanese, now appealing to the people and to the chiefs particularly, reintroduced this custom in the effort to favour the chiefs and to gain the favour of the chiefs and to get the support of the people. And Peter Tarrott particularly told the people, no, we're not going to do this. A lot of the other catechists stopped their work and actually supported this practice of polygamy. And there was a particular incident where a chief named Matapa took another man's wife as his wife, as a second wife. Now the thing with polygamy and chiefs was that custom was it boosted their status and their standing and their wealth amongst the people. And that's the same in many other places in Papua New Guinea, a lot of tribes. The polygamy was something that belonged to the chiefs. So this thing with this guy named Matapa precipitated a crisis, and Peter Tarrott opposed that and told him he couldn't do that. Then somebody else went and reported Peter Tarrott to the Japanese, and that started the process to his death more immediately. So it took time for Peter Tarrott, as he continued his work, to come to the point to say, what's going on here I cannot and will not support, and whatever the consequences, so be it. And he said to people, if that leads to my death, then I'll die. But at the moment, he's opposing the Japanese, and he had opposed some of the chiefs in what they were doing. He was a man on mission, and he continued his mission. Thank you for being with us. I'll finish this story at another time.